I got my first ever mobile on 2022 and literally I used it a hell lot, man. I used it for 15 hours, 16 hours, at least I got a high of 20 hours per day, and that is how I used my mobile. And I literally explored everything in this mobile. And the main purpose of making this video is I just want to share my 3 years of experience with this mobile and how we should use it to get maximum out of this mobile. And the point which I want to make here is that for any human being, personal growth, career growth and entertainment are the 3 most important needs. So in this video, I'm going to share how you can use this mobile in order to obtain personal growth, career growth and even to get entertained. So let's get into the video. And the first one is learn a new skill. See, in this digital age, skills are most important than your degree, and certificates without your skill is shit. And that skill may be anything. It can be graphic designing, it can be coding, it can be marketing, etc, etc. But we should have that passion to learn a new skill. But the most of the people says that we don't have money to learn a new skill. But the fact is that everything which I learn is learned from YouTube. It can be video editing, it can be public speaking, it can be marketing. Everything which I learn is learned from this YouTube. You can learn anything absolutely for free without investing a single rupee. But you have to invest your time and energy to learn these new skills. And if you are learning any new skill, that was great, keep it up. If you don't, my suggestion is that start learning one skill, and that one skill will lead to your passion. And the next one is social media. And you might be shocked because are you the one who was suggesting to see social media? Yes, of course. And the one thing which I will say is that if you can avoid social media, avoid it. But if you can't, then use it wisely. And the main advantage of social media is that there is a lot of stuff which is useful for us. And the main disadvantage is that there is a lot of shit. And the decision is completely yours whether you consume the useful stuff or to consume shit. And my suggestion would be unfollow the accounts which doesn't add value to your life and start following the accounts which add value to your life. That is what your feed will be filled with useful content. And most of the times you spend less time on social media. So my dear friend, use social media wisely. And the next one is listen to podcasts. Podcast. Okay? And for those who don't know what podcast in simple terms is just an interview of a person, or it can be a random thoughts of a person. I just want to say only one thing about podcast is that when I listen to podcast, the only thing which I observed is that I started understanding the world. I started understanding the different perspectives of people, and I started knowing how the world works and how things happen. And it helped me a lot to observe the mindsets of the people and to learn many things in the nature or etc etc. And usually I follow podcasts of the Ranveer Show, and then Raj Shamani, Sandeep Maheshwari, Huerwin Lab, and then there is one Telugu podcast which is by Vamshi Kurupati, the Raw Talks. So these are the podcasts which I usually follow. And then if you never listen to a podcast, I will give links in the description. You can start with them. So if you are wasting your time on social media, I highly recommend you to listen to podcasts. That is where you understand the world. And the next one is read books. See, books are the greatest resource of knowledge. And one thing which I will do is that usually I don't want to listen to classes. So I'll just read books in the class time so that it will be very helpful for me to gain some knowledge. So if you are wasting your time, reading books is a great habit. You'll get more insights and more knowledge from these books, and you can start reading from your mobile. And I'll suggest you to read 2 books that are first one, undoubtedly Bhagavad Gita, and second one is Atomic Habits. So I will suggest you to read these 2 books. I will give you the links in the description so that you can download the Bhagavad Gita from online. So you can download it. And the next one is start writing notes. See, we have this habit of remembering everything, right? Please don't do that. Our brains are designed to create ideas, not to store them. And I think that is why our ancestors wrote on walls and rocks. And of course we can't write on walls and writes, but we have these great applications to write down our notes. I will show you how I write notes. So if I want to learn about transitions in video editing, so I'll just write a note that transitions in video editing, and that's it. Whenever I'll get free time, I'll check the notes and then I will learn the transitions in video editing. So that's it. So if I don't write it down, I will forget that and I may not remember that, right? So that is what most important. And every video which I shoot, I have these ideas in my notes app, and every video idea which was born at one point of time, and at that point I wrote an idea in notes app so that I can shoot videos right now. And when I listen to n number of podcasts, I observed that highly successful people write down their ideas. Ideas will get for everyone, right? But we should remember what we get. So notes will help you to remember everything. So my dear friend, start writing notes right now. This will help you a lot. And the last thing, by the way, apps. See, applications are there to make our lives easy. So there are so many applications. I made a separate video on that. You can check that video to be more productive if you are a student, and that video is very helpful for you to do many things. And literally those 5 apps helped me a lot from the past 1 year, and I will highly recommend you to watch that video. So it's your Hemanth Krishna signing off.